And so let's go ahead now. Don't worry too much about whether it's 70% or whatever. This is just to get you into the ballpark, because ultimately what we want it to be for you is we want it to be comfortable strain, to where you feel the strain but not so much that it is aggravating you. Okay, so I have it set at 175 right now after my first pull, but I'm going to do a little bit more adjusting from there, and I want you to do the same. So let's go ahead and adjust it a couple more times. Let me go ahead and pull to a comfortable strain. Okay, that had me at 172, 168, 170. I think 170 actually feels a little bit better for me than 175 does. So let me go ahead and see if that's comfy. Well, maybe even a little bit lower. I think I'll go down to 165. That feels like a more comfortable strain to me. Yeah. Okay, so go ahead and get locked in on a comfortable strain for yourself. And the next thing that we're going to focus on is what we call the proper action of using the test device. And the proper action is a smooth pull, an abrupt stop, and immediate release. Okay, so once again, it's a smooth pull, abrupt stop, and immediate release. So let's go ahead and practice that a couple of times now. And this is what we call having a nice break point. So when we pull, we have a smooth pull, abrupt stop, immediate release. Let's try it a few more times. Smooth pull, abrupt stop, immediate release. One more time. Don't slow down as you come to the end of the red ring. Smooth pull, abrupt stop, immediate release. Smooth pull, abrupt stop, immediate release. And one more time. Smooth pull, abrupt stop, immediate release. Okay, so that's what we call having a good break point. One of the things that you don't want to do when you're pulling on the bar relative to the break point is slow down as you come to the end of the red ring. It's kind of like almost like a oh yeah, there it is right there, that feeling that we're looking for. And in our next session, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be helping you identify and tune into that unique feel, okay? But first things first, let's get the principles right of how to pull on the bar. And so what I encourage you to do is to go through this training again, and the last time you go through this training, have it end just before our next session begins, so that you are tuned in and warmed up and ready to tune in to your unique, just right feel that your jet counselor will help you identify, okay? Take care, make it a great day. Hello, this is James Stevens again, and I'd like to take a little bit of time to talk about alternative ways of using the bar, different hand positions, as well as testing the leg muscles too. So let's go ahead and explore those alternatives. First of all, when would you need them? And in the first two situations where we're going to modify the hand position, the reason why you would want to use them is if you found that you were going too high on the gauge. And if you look closely here, what you'll notice is that there is a stop sign at the end here, and you don't want to pull beyond that stop sign because it could damage the test device. So how can we have your readings get a little lower if you find that they're getting too high? The first way is to modify the hand position. Now typically when we have the hand over the grip like this, we're using all of the muscles. Now, one thing I also want to add in regards to muscle isolation and the using of the hand muscles which are involved in the pull is because that all of the joints are locked into place, we aren't going to have any muscle vacillation. And I forgot to mention that before, so I just wanted to add that in. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at the first modification of the hand position, noticing the ring finger and the thumb only. What that will do is it will isolate out the muscles associated with these three fingers and thereby notch down your readings a little bit so that it's more within range. Now if that's not enough, the second position that we can use is rather than wrap it with the thumb and the forefinger like this, what we can do is just pinch the ends, and you'll notice that I'm doing it right at the end of the bar where there's a beveled end right here because it's a really good way to get a nice grip so that it doesn't fall off. And so again, the way that you can do it is by just using the thumb and the forefinger. Okay? And the second condition I wanted to talk about is if a person has had a rotator cuff injury, or let's say it's fibromyalgia, and so it's too much aggravation to the upper structure, you can actually test the leg muscles. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. It's done sitting in a chair. And so there's a couple of things about your posture. First of all, you want to have a good posture. You don't want to be bent like this when you're testing, or laying back like this. You want to be in a nice right angle right there, as well as, and let me bring the camera over here a little bit, as having a right angle on the leg as well. Okay? And so I'm going to go ahead and move the camera into position now to where you can see how the setup is done. The main thing is to remember is that your body is in a nice right angle frame. Okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at how this works. Let me get this into position here. Okay, I think that'll do it pretty well. And what we're going to do is we're going to test the leg muscles. Now, the muscles that we test are actually on the inside of the leg, but how it is that we test them is we put the tester on top of our knees like this and hold on and grip onto the tester, but we're not going to pull with our hands. We're going to be letting the legs do the pulling. And so the way we accomplish that is when we have our hand around the tester, the thumb, the bottom of the thumb, here, let's just go ahead and have you take a look at that. The bottom of the thumb right there, this piece right here, is lodged against your knee. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So now I have it down here, and I have the thumbs right here are lodged against the knee. And oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you about the position of the legs is to have them situated so that your feet, let me back up here a little bit, so that your feet are the same width apart as the center line of your hip. So find the center line of your hip and have the center line of your toe be in the same orientation. Okay? And so now we have the thumbs lodged against the knees, and what we're going to do is simply pull right there. Okay? The other thing to keep in mind is not to change the position here. Keep it always at the same position every time that you pull on it. Again, we're going to be pulling with both legs, just like when we were pulling with the arms, we pulled with both arms. Okay? And one last word on this position is that when you're pulling apart with your legs, it's okay for the shoe, the inner shoe, to rotate up like this, but you do want to keep the outer edge of the shoe in place. And just like with the up on the knees, you don't want to have the feet moving back or forth as well. So as a final word, be sure to keep that right angle to the body. Okay? So there's a couple of variations that may help you out as well.